Did you steal that boarding pass, sweetie? Victoria Whitmore's Cartier bracelet gleams as she blocks the aisle. Hermes scarf, diamonds everywhere. She towers over Amara Johnson in her simple Howard University sweatshirt. First class costs more than your entire wardrobe. Amara's voice stays soft. Ma'am, this is my seat. 2A. Your seat? Victoria laughs. Cold. Cruel. Let me guess. Affirmative action miles? Welfare upgrade? She turns to her husband, voice dripping with venom. Gerald, they're really scraping the bottom now, letting hood rats into first class. Victoria sprays perfume toward Amara like she's fumigating. You probably can't even read that ticket. Go back where you belong. Amara doesn't move, doesn't fight back. Victoria's face twists with pure hate. She leans in close and spits directly into Amara's face. The saliva runs down slowly. Oops. You had something on your face. Have you ever seen this confident evil? This woman just destroyed her own life. 7 hours earlier, Amara's alarm buzzed at 5:30 in the morning. Her studio apartment in Washington, D.C. is small but neat. Textbooks stack on the desk. A framed photo shows her with her mother at Howard University's graduation ceremony. Both smiling, both are proud. Amara pulls on jeans and her university sweatshirt. Nothing fancy. She's 18 and flies alone. No need to impress anyone. She packs her carry-on carefully. Conference materials, legal notepad. Her speech was printed and highlighted. 6 months of work in that folder. National Criminal Justice Reform Summit. San Francisco. She's the youngest keynote speaker. Her phone buzzes. A text from Mom. So proud of you, baby. Senate emergency session, can't fly with you. I'll be there tomorrow. You've got this. Love you. Amara types back quickly. Love you too, Mom. I'll be fine. See you in SF. Mom. She stares at the message for a moment. Her mother is Senator Diane Johnson, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, one of the most powerful women in Washington. But Amara never leads with that, never uses it. She earned this speech on merit. Her essay on restorative justice won national recognition. No favors, no phone calls, just her work. The Uber driver, an older black man named Mr. Raymond, loads her bag. Big trip? He asks. Conference, I'm speaking. At 18? That's impressive. Amara smiles but doesn't elaborate. At Dulles Airport, she moves through security quickly. TSA pre-check. No hassle. She reads at the gate. A book on criminal sentencing reform. Dense, important. Other passengers glance at her. Young, black, alone, in the first-class boarding group. She ignores the looks. She's used to them. Meanwhile, 200 miles north in Greenwich, Connecticut, Victoria Whitmore sips her third mimosa. Her mansion sprawls across manicured lawns. Old money, inherited wealth, the kind that never worked for anything. She sits at a dining table that could seat 12, alone except for Gerald at the far end. They're letting the Carters into the club, she says, flipping through society pages. The standards are gone, Gerald. Gone. Gerald Whitmore barely looks up from his Wall Street journal. I'm writing a letter. Someone has to maintain quality. Victoria has written many letters, complained about many people, got a Latina housekeeper fired last year for imaginary theft, called the police on a black teenager waiting for a bus, said he looked suspicious. Her friends call her passionate. Her enemies call her what she is. Racist. We need to leave in 30 minutes, Gerald says. He's flying to San Francisco for a merger. Corporate law. Boring but lucrative. Victoria insisted on first class. She always does. I refuse to sit with common people, she told him. I don't care what it costs. Money has always solved Victoria's problems. Settlements, donations, quiet payments to make complaints disappear. She assumes it always will. At the airport, Victoria is loud, demanding, rude. This latte is room temperature, She snaps at the barista. Do you people even know how to make coffee? The barista, a young black woman, remakes it without comment. Victoria doesn't tip. At the gate, she complains about the boarding process. Too slow, too disorganized, too many people. The gate agent, Sandra, keeps her face neutral, professional, but her eyes show everything. She knows Victoria's type. Boarding begins. Amara enters first, settles into 2A, window side of the aisle seat, perfect for working. She pulls out her conference folder, reviews her notes, puts in earbuds, classical music, calming. 5 minutes later, Victoria boards. She sees Amara immediately. Her face changes. Shock. Then disgust. Then rage. A black girl, in first class, in the seat next to hers. Victoria's entire worldview cracks. She doesn't see an 18-year-old college student, doesn't see a conference speaker, doesn't see a human being with a ticket and a right to be there. She sees a threat, an invasion, someone who doesn't belong in her space. And Victoria Whitmore has spent her entire life making sure people she doesn't like know they don't belong. She stops at row 2, checks her boarding pass. 2B, middle seat, right next to Amara. Her lip curls. This is where it begins. The moment that will cost Victoria everything. Her reputation, her money, her freedom. But she doesn't know that yet. Right now, she only knows hate. And hate makes people stupid. Victoria stands in the aisle like a queen surveying peasants. Her Chanel suit costs more than most people's monthly rent. Diamonds glitter at her throat and wrists. Her perfume chokes the air. She stares at Amara with open disgust. There's been a mistake. Amara looks up, removes one earbud. I'm sorry? This is first class. Your section is in the back. Victoria's voice carries, intentionally loud. She wants witnesses to her complaint. I have seat 2A, ma'am. Let me see that ticket. Victoria snatches the boarding pass from Amara's hand, studies it like counterfeit currency, checks every detail twice. Her mouth tightens into a thin line. There's clearly been a system error. She snaps her fingers at a flight attendant. Jessica hurries over with a trained smile. Ma'am, how can I help? Victoria gestures at Amara without looking at her. This girl is claiming first class. I need you to verify her ticket. There's obviously been a mistake. Jessica's smile wavers. Ma'am, if she has a boarding pass, just check it. The command is sharp, final. Jessica scans Amara's pass. The device beeps. Valid. First class. Seat 2A. Everything's in order. Miss Johnson is assigned to this seat. Victoria's face flushes. How progressive. The word drips poison. Jessica retreats. She knows when to abandon a situation. Victoria drops into seat 2B like she's being forced into a trash compactor. Sighing, huffing, making her displeasure at a performance. Gerald slides into 2C by the window. He says nothing, does nothing. Ignoring problems is his specialty. Victoria immediately builds barriers. Her Birkin bag slams onto the shared armrest, then her pashmina, then her magazine, a wall of expensive accessories between her and Amara. She adjusts the air vent, points it directly at Amara's face. Cold air blasts. Do you mind? Amara asks quietly. I need circulation. I'm sensitive to odors. The implication lands heavy. Victoria pulls out Chanel No. 5, sprays it 3 times. The cloud drifts toward Amara. Amara coughs. Oh, are you allergic? I must have my fragrance. David Carter, a businessman across the aisle, looks up from his laptop, frowns, watches. Behind them, Maya and James Martinez exchange troubled glances. Pre-departure beverage service begins. What can I get you, ladies? Victoria answers without acknowledging Amara exists. Veuve Clicquot, crystal flute, not plastic. Jessica turns to Amara. And for you, miss? Water, please. Victoria laughs, sharp and cruel. Of course. She stage whispers to Gerald, volume calculated for maximum audience. Probably can't afford anything else. Some diversity scholarship, I'm sure. David Carter's frown deepens. He pulls out his phone. Amara keeps her eyes on her conference folder. Her knuckles whiten. The plane pushes back. The captain announces departure procedures. Victoria immediately makes a phone call. Jennifer? Yes, I'm on the plane. Stuck in an unfortunate seating situation. They let anyone fly first class now. No standards whatsoever. She glances pointedly at Amara. Jessica approaches. Ma'am, please end your call. We're taxiing. Victoria huffs dramatically. Hangs up. Glares at Amara like the phone policy is her fault. The plane accelerates down the runway. Victoria grabs the armrest on Amara's side, shoves Amara's arm off completely. That's my armrest, Amara says quietly. The middle seat gets both. Basic etiquette. You're in the middle. I'm in the aisle. Are you really arguing about an armrest? Victoria's voice rises. How typical. That word. Typical. Everyone hears the racism in it. David starts recording. The plane lifts off. Amara closes her eyes, breathes slowly. She's dealt with people like Victoria her whole life, just never trapped beside one at 40,000 feet. The seatbelt sign dings off. Victoria orders more champagne immediately. Amara pulls out her conference materials, tries to focus. The folder is clearly labeled. National Criminal Justice Reform Summit. Speaker, Amara Johnson. Victoria's eyes narrow. How adorable. Playing activist? Amara meets her gaze directly. I'm speaking at a national policy conference. How ambitious. Victoria's smile is venomous. I'm sure they needed to fill certain quotas for diversity. Gerald chuckles into his wine. Amara's voice stays level. I won a national essay competition. Judges selected my work on merit. Of course that's what they told you, dear. That's how these programs work. What programs? You know exactly what I mean. Say it clearly. I don't appreciate your tone, and I don't appreciate your racism. The word hangs in the air, bold, direct. Victoria's face hardens. Other passengers watch openly now. Phones out, recording everything. Meal service arrives. Ready to order? Jessica asks, voice tight. Salmon. And make sure it's actually cooked properly this time. Jessica turns to Amara. Pasta primavera, please. Victoria snorts. Economical choice. The meals arrive on china plates. Amara eats quietly, then spreads her conference materials across her tray table. Victoria watches with visible disgust. You're really going to work on that little project right here? It's a 30-page policy proposal. Policy, Victoria's mockery cuts. You're 18. What could you possibly know? I've studied criminal justice reform for 3 years. 3 whole years. How impressive. Victoria lifts her wine glass, red wine, swirls it deliberately above Amara's papers. These look important to you. Amara's eyes narrow. 6 months of research. It would be a shame if something happened. Please be careful. Victoria tips the glass. Red wine splashes across the documents, soaks through pages instantly. Months of work ruined. Oh no, Victoria gasps. How clumsy. Amara grabs napkins frantically. Too late. The damage is done. You did that on purpose. It was an accident. How dare you accuse me? These are my presentation materials. You should have been more careful. They were on my table. You dumped wine on them deliberately. Are you calling me a liar? The cabin goes silent. Gerald finally speaks. Vicky said it was an accident. Accept it and move on. She didn't apologize. Jessica rushes over. What's happening? Victoria points a trembling finger at Amara. This girl is harassing me. She's been rude since boarding, making false accusations. I want her moved. Amara stares in disbelief. Jessica makes the worst possible choice. Ma'am, perhaps we should move you to another seat, to avoid further conflict. The suggestion lands like a slap. Move me? She destroyed my work. I just think, no. Amara's voice shakes with rage. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not moving. Victoria pounces. Aggressive. Confrontational. Do you hear this, Gerald? Amara stands. I paid for this seat. I've sat here quietly. She has harassed me, insulted me, and destroyed my property. And you want me to move? Her voice carries. Strong, clear. Victoria stands too, face to face. The cabin holds its breath. Victoria's expression twists. Pure hatred. No mask. Listen here, you entitled... She stops, but everyone knows what word she almost said. Victoria leans close, champagne breath, twisted face, and spits directly into Amara's face. Time stops. Saliva hits Amara's cheek, slides down slowly. Gasps erupt around them. That's assault, David shouts. I got it on video, Maya yells. Victoria sits calmly, pulls out her napkin, wipes her own mouth. Excuse me, I sneezed. Allergies. Amara stands frozen, hand rising to her face, touching the spit. Her eyes fill with tears. Not sadness, fury. But she doesn't break, doesn't scream. She stands there, dignified, even in degradation. And the cameras keep recording everything. The cabin erupts. She just spit on her! Dorothy, the elderly woman in 3A, stands clutching her iPad. I recorded it! David Carter is already on his feet, phone raised. That was assault. I saw everything. Maya Martinez leans forward. We got it on video. Clear footage. Her husband James adds, audio too. Every racist comment. Passengers crane their necks. Some stand. The quiet of first class transforms into chaos. Amara remains frozen, hand pressed to her cheek where spit slowly drips. Her other hand grips the seat back, knuckles white. She's shaking. Not from fear. From rage so deep it threatens to explode. Victoria examines her nails. Everyone's being dramatic. It was a sneeze. Gerald stands, wallet out. His face has gone pale. Let's not make this bigger than necessary. He fans out hundreds. Here's $500. We apologize. Let's forget this happened. Amara's head snaps toward him. Forget? Her voice is deadly quiet. Your wife spit in my face. It was an accident. It was assault. You're being unreasonable. More bills. 1,000, 2,000. Name your price. David pushes into the aisle. You're trying to buy your way out of a hate crime? Hate crime? Victoria shrieks. I sneezed. You spit on her, Maya shouts, after hours of racist abuse. Senior flight attendant Mark Stevens appears. 50 years old, 25 years of experience. His face shows shock. Everyone sit, now. Authority in every word. One at a time. Sir, you first. David speaks steadily, CEO voice, used to being heard. That woman harassed this girl since boarding, racist comments, destroyed her property, then spit in her face, deliberately. I recorded it. Mark turns to Maya. Same. We heard everything. Comments about affirmative action, about not belonging. Then she spit. No sneezing, just hate. Mark's jaw tightens. He addresses Amara. Miss, are you injured? Amara grabs napkins, wipes her face with trembling hands. Once, twice, 3 times. Not injured, but assaulted. Her voice cracks. Mark pulls his radio. Lead F.A. Stevens to the flight deck. Need air marshal in first class immediately. Assault incident. Victoria goes white. Air marshal? This is insane. I sneezed. Ma'am, sit down and be quiet. I will not. Sit down. The command stops her. From row 12, a man in jeans stands, casual clothes, unremarkable, until his badge shows. Federal Air Marshal Derek Thompson, 42, black, built solid. His eyes sweep the scene. Amara's tears, Victoria's defiance, the phones, the agitation. Federal Air Marshal Thompson, everyone remain seated. Low voice, absolute authority. Victoria sees his face, his skin color. She whispers to Gerald. Everyone hears. Of course he is. Derek's eyes lock onto her. Repeat that, ma'am. Victoria's mouth snaps shut. Derek turns to Mark. Brief me. Mark gives it straight. Multiple witnesses, video evidence, hours of harassment. Derek addresses Amara. Are you all right? Need medical attention? Amara wipes her face again. I'm okay, physically. Your name? Amara Johnson, 18, flying to San Francisco for a conference. Derek writes notes. And you? Victoria draws herself up. Victoria Whitmore. I'm the victim. This girl has been disruptive, making false accusations for money. Witnesses say otherwise. They're lying. I have allergies. I'll interview them now. Stay quiet. He talks to David first, watches the video, clear footage. Victoria leaning in, spit leaving her mouth. Her smirk. Maya's video, different angle, same evidence. Dorothy's, full view from behind. 3 cameras, 3 angles, identical story. Derek turns back. Ma'am, 3 videos contradict your sneeze claim. They're edited, doctored. 3 passengers doctored video in 30 seconds. They're conspiring. They saw a wealthy white woman. She stops, realizing. Derek waits. Saw what, ma'am? Silence. He addresses Amara. Miss Johnson, this is an assault on aircraft under Title 49 U.S.C. Section 46506. Federal offense. Do you want to press charges? Amara's voice steadies. Yes. Victoria explodes. Charges? Against me? Do you know who I am? Derek's face stays flat. Should I? I'm on 3 charity boards. My husband's a partner at a major firm. We have connections. Doesn't matter at 35,000 feet. Federal law applies equally. We'll sue you, the airline, everyone. Derek pulls out restraints. Calm down or I restrain you for the flight. You can't touch me, Gerald. Gerald stands, chest puffed. Officer, you need to... Marshal. Sit down, sir, or you'll be restrained too. Gerald deflates. Sits. Derek turns to Mark. Move them away from the victim, back of first class. Row 5 is open. Perfect. Ma'am, sir, gather belongings. You're moving. Victoria's voice goes shrill. I paid $17,000 for these seats. You committed a federal crime from these seats. Move. Victoria stands shakily, reality setting in. She gathers her bag, accidentally knocks Amara's water bottle over. Derek sees it. One more incident, restraints go on. Clear? Victoria glares, says nothing. They move to row 5. Victoria stares daggers back the whole way. Derek sits in vacant 2B beside Amara. I need your full statement. Take your time. Amara tells everything. Every comment, every provocation. The whine, the suggestions she didn't belong, all of it. Derek takes detailed notes. You showed remarkable composure. Amara's tears finally fall. I was taught never to let them see you break. You can break now if you need to. Small laugh through tears. I'll save it. You're alone? Parents know about this flight? My mom knows. Meeting me tomorrow. Work emergency. What does she do? Amara hesitates. Government work. Derek nods. Doesn't push. I need her contact info, and I'm notifying San Francisco police. Will she be arrested? Most likely, yes. Derek radios the cockpit. Captain Air Marshal Thompson, federal assault situation. Request police, FBI, airline management meet aircraft on arrival. Copy, how serious? Assault with video evidence. Perpetrator contained. Victim safe. No flight threat. Understood. Notifying ground. In row 5, Victoria hisses at Gerald. Your fault. You should have moved her. Vicky, shut up. We're in trouble. Trouble? Phone calls? Donations? This disappears like always. This is different. Video. Witnesses. Air Marshal. So? Her word against ours. 10 witnesses, Vicky. 3 videos. Victoria waves dismissively. We'll destroy her in court. Who believes her over us? Mark overhears, writes it down, shakes his head. Below, social media ignites. David tweets to 50,000 followers. Witnessed blatant racism. Flight UA2847. White woman spit on black teen in first class after hour of abuse. Air Marshal involved. 2024. Hashtag airline racism. Maya posts video. Footage of hate crime on my flight right now. Woman spit in black woman's face. This is America. Hash first class racism. 10 minutes. 50 retweets. 20 minutes. 200. 30 minutes. Trending in 3 cities. Hashtags form. Hashtag justice for Amara. Hash UA2847. A first-class racism. United Airlines headquarters. The social media team notices. Emergency alerts. The PR director watches videos. Goes pale. Get legal. Operations. CEO. Now. Crisis team assembles within the hour. What do we know about the victim? Staffer researches. Amara Johnson, 18, Howard student, conference speaker. Her mother is, oh no. What? Senator Diane Johnson. Silence. Senator Johnson, Judiciary Committee? Chair, who wrote the Federal Air Safety Act? More silence. Get our best to SFO, immediately. On the plane, the final approach begins. Captain announces, beginning descent. Law enforcement will board upon landing. All passengers remain seated until released. Victoria's face drains completely. Gerald, this is happening. Call Worthington. We're airborne. Text him. Victoria's hands shake typing. Amara texts her mother. Mom, something happened. I'm okay. Police meeting plane. Call when you can. 30 seconds. Phone rings. Amara? What happened? I'm fine. A woman harassed me all through the flight. Racist comments, then spit in my face. 3 seconds of silence. She what? The air marshal handled it. Video evidence. Police meeting us. I'm getting the first flight, 2 hours. Mom, you don't... Yes, I do. Nobody spits on my daughter. The plane descends through clouds. San Francisco Bay appears. Golden Gate Bridge gleams. Victoria breathes rapidly. Panic attack starting. I can't go to jail. Gerald says nothing, realizing money might not fix this. Amara stares out the window, surprisingly calm. 18 years of being told she doesn't belong, being told she's only there because of charity, quotas, handouts. Today she fought back. Today the system might actually work. The plane touches down. 3:47 p.m. Pacific. Victoria Whitmore's life as she knows it is about to end. The jetway attaches with a heavy thunk. The forward door opens. 6 San Francisco airport police officers enter first. Uniforms crisp, faces serious. Behind them, 2 FBI agents in dark suits. Federal jurisdiction. Then airport security. Then 3 airline executives in corporate attire. Leading them all, Captain Maria Rodriguez, SFPD, 40 years old, Latina, 20 years on the force. She's seen everything. But the videos she watched during the flight's descent made even her angry. Her eyes scan the cabin. Find row 5 immediately. I need Victoria Whitmore and Gerald Whitmore. Victoria stands on shaky legs. Gerald helps her up. For a moment, Victoria's old arrogance flickers back. She assumes they're here to help her. Thank God you're here. Her voice is loud, performative. That girl, she points at Amara. She's been making false accusations. Harassing us! I want her arrested for defamation. Captain Rodriguez's expression doesn't change. Mrs. Whitmore, you're being detained for assault and battery on a federal aircraft under Title 49 U.S.C. Section 46506. The words hit Victoria like a physical blow. Her mouth falls open. I'm being detained? This is insane! I'm the victim! 2 officers approach with handcuffs. Victoria backs away, hands up. Don't you dare touch me! Do you know who I am? Captain Rodriguez's voice stays level. Professional. Ma'am, you can walk off this aircraft voluntarily or we can carry you off in restraints. Your choice. You have 5 seconds. Gerald, do something! Gerald pulls out his phone with shaking hands. I'm calling our lawyer. Davis? Davis, we need you at SFO immediately. Police are... An officer gently takes the phone. You can call from the security office, sir. Victoria looks around wildly. At the other passengers. The cameras are still recording. At the police who won't back down. Reality finally crashes through her entitled bubble. This can't be happening! This can't be! Ma'am, now! Officers flank her on both sides. Victoria has no choice. She gathers her Birkin bag with trembling hands, her pashmina, her magazine. The walk toward the aircraft door means passing Amara. Victoria has to walk right by her. The first-class passengers who witnessed everything watch in absolute silence. Then David Carter stands, starts clapping, slow, deliberate, loud. Maya stands, joins him, then James, then Dorothy, then others. Applause builds, spreads, fills the cabin. Victoria's face burns red, humiliation and rage warring for control. She stops beside Amara. Turns, jabs a finger in her face one last time. This isn't over. My lawyers will destroy you. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? I will ruin you. I will... Ma'am. Captain Rodriguez's hand goes to Victoria's elbow. Keep walking. But Victoria can't stop. You think you've won? You think this means anything? I have money. I have connections. You're nobody. You're... Amara stands, meets Victoria's eyes directly. Her voice is quiet, calm, powerful. No, Mrs. Whitmore. You have no idea who you're dealing with, but you're about to find out. Something in Amara's tone makes Victoria falter. For the first time, genuine fear flickers across her face. Officers guide Victoria toward the exit. The applause follows her all the way off the plane. Gerald trails behind, head down, phone pressed to his ear. The door closes behind them. The cabin erupts in conversation. Did you see her face? About time someone like that faced consequences. That girl handled it with such grace. Captain Rodriguez returns, approaches Amara. Miss Johnson, are you all right? Do you need medical attention? I'm okay. Thank you. We'll need your full statement. Also, she checks her tablet. We've been informed your mother is en route to the airport. The cabin goes quiet. Passengers lean in. Thomas Carter, VP of Operations for United Airlines, steps forward. Chinese American, 50s, clearly nervous. Miss Johnson, on behalf of United Airlines, I cannot express how deeply sorry we are. This should never have happened. We failed you. Amara's voice stays steady. Your air marshal and senior flight attendant handled it well, but the initial response asking me to move, that needs to change. Thomas nods vigorously. Absolutely. We're launching a full investigation. We'd like to offer you compensation. I don't want compensation. I want to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. Thomas looks impressed. Of course. Your mother mentioned you were attending a conference on criminal justice. He checks his tablet again. I'm sorry, I didn't realize earlier. Your mother is Senator Diane Johnson? The words hang in the air. Amara nods quietly. Yes. David Carter's eyes go wide. Senator Diane Johnson? From Virginia? Yes. The Senator Johnson, who chairs the Judiciary Committee. Yes. Maya gasps. Oh my God. That woman spit on a senator's daughter. Dorothy starts laughing. Delighted, disbelieving laughter. She spit on the daughter of the woman who wrote the Federal Air Safety Act. Passengers pull out phones, Googling frantically. Senator Johnson oversees FAA funding. She's one of the most powerful people in Washington. That racist woman just assaulted the wrong person. The realization spreads like wildfire. She's finished. Completely finished. Money won't save her from this. Thomas Carter's face has gone pale. He speaks urgently into his phone. Get me corporate. Now. Yes, it's that bad. Worse than we thought. The victim is Senator Johnson's daughter. Senator Diane Johnson. Yes, that Senator Johnson. He listens. His face gets paler. Understood. Full crisis protocol. Meanwhile, in the airport security office 2 gates away, an officer enters the interrogation room where Victoria sits. She's still ranting. I want my lawyer. I want these charges dropped. This is harassment. That girl is lying. I have rights. The officer holds up a tablet. Mrs. Whitmore, you should see this. He plays the video. Crystal clear. Victoria spitting. Her smirk. The audio of every racist word. 500,000 views in 2 hours. Victoria stares. Her face goes from red to white to gray. That's out of context. There's 7 minutes of context, ma'am. All showing the same thing. Another officer enters. Mrs. Whitmore, there's something else you need to know. Victoria looks up. Mascara streaked. Hair disheveled. What? The young woman you assaulted. Her name is Amara Johnson. Her mother is Senator Diane Johnson. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. Senator... What? Senator Diane Johnson, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, the committee that oversees federal aviation law and FAA appropriations. The color drains from Victoria's face entirely. No, that's not possible. It's confirmed, ma'am. Victoria's hands start shaking uncontrollably. She looked like she was wearing a sweatshirt. She can't finish the sentence, can't articulate what she means without exposing her racism even more. Gerald is brought into the room. Vicky, what's happening? Victoria grabs him. The girl. Her mother is a senator. What girl? Gerald's face goes slack. Oh, God. The one you... He can't say it either. Senator Diane Johnson, the officer clarifies. Perhaps you've heard of her? Gerald sinks into a chair. We're finished. Victoria starts crying. Real tears now. Fear tears. What have I done? What have I done? The officer's voice is flat, unsympathetic. You assaulted the daughter of one of the most powerful women in the United States government, on camera, with a dozen witnesses, on federal property. That's what you've done. Victoria collapses forward, head in hands, sobbing. For the first time in her privileged life, money can't save her. Connections can't protect her. Her whiteness can't shield her. She's about to face something she's never experienced before. Consequences. Real ones. 90 minutes later, a black Suburban with government plates pulls up to San Francisco International's private terminal. Security detail exits first. Earpieces, alert eyes, scanning for threats. Then she emerges. Senator Diane Johnson, 48 years old. Black. Elegant in a navy suit she wore on the Senate floor this morning. Natural hair styled professionally. Pearls at her throat. But her eyes burn with controlled fury. She's flanked by Maya Rodriguez, her chief of staff, and Robert Carter, her personal attorney. The media has already gathered. Word leaked fast in Washington. Reporters shout questions. Senator Johnson, is it true your daughter was assaulted? Will you be pressing charges? Do you have a statement? Senator Johnson ignores them all. Walks with purpose toward the terminal. Inside, airport security leads her to a conference room. Amara sits with FBI agents, giving her statement. The door opens. Mom. Baby. They cross the room in seconds, embrace hard. Senator Johnson pulls back, examines Amara's face, touches her cheek where the spit hit, her jaw tightens. Tell me everything. Amara recounts it all, every detail. Her voice stays steady, but her mother can see the trauma underneath. When Amara describes the spitting, Senator Johnson's fist clenches on the table. The FBI agent gives them privacy. Where is she? The senator's voice is ice. In custody, being processed. Charges? Assault and battery on federal aircraft. Possible hate crime enhancement under Title 18, Section 249. Possible? The word is sharp. Make it definite. We'll file all applicable charges, Senator. Thomas Carter, the airline VP, enters nervously. Senator Johnson, I'm Thomas Carter, VP of Operations. We are profoundly sorry. Senator Johnson cuts him off. Your flight attendant asked my daughter to move seats after she was assaulted. You understand that's victim blaming? Thomas swallows hard. Senator, that employee will face disciplinary. That employee enabled a hate crime. Each word is precisely placed. Disciplinary action isn't sufficient. I want a complete overhaul of your discrimination protocols. Mandatory bias training for all staff. Real accountability. We'll implement whatever you recommend. I'm not recommending it, I'm telling you, because if you don't do it voluntarily, my committee will make it federal law. Are we clear? Thomas nods rapidly. Crystal clear, Senator. Senator Johnson turns to her attorney. Robert, file a civil suit. Assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, civil rights violations under 42 U.S.C. 1981. Already drafting it. And I want a complete background investigation on Victoria Whitmore. Every business, every board she sits on, every organization. If there's a pattern of discrimination, I want it exposed. My team started 2 hours ago. Her chief of staff, Maya, speaks up. Senator, press is requesting a statement. Schedule a conference for tomorrow. Tonight is about Amara. In the security office, Victoria's attorney has arrived. Davis Worthington, 65, expensive suit, top white-collar defense lawyer. He's been briefed. He looks at Victoria with barely concealed disgust. This is bad, as bad as it gets. Victoria's voice is hoarse from crying. Make it go away. That's what we pay you for. Mrs. Whitmore, you assaulted a senator's daughter. On video, with audio of racial slurs. There is no making this go away. Gerald leans forward. Settlement? Large donation? Senator Johnson isn't motivated by money. She's motivated by principle. And she has the power to destroy you both. Victoria's hands shake. What do we do? Apologize, publicly, profusely, hope for mercy you don't deserve. Worthington arranges a meeting. Senator Johnson agrees. Amara insists on being present. Victoria and Gerald are brought in. No handcuffs, but officers nearby. Victoria sees Amara, starts crying immediately. "Senator, I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was stressed, I had wine, I wasn't thinking." Senator Johnson holds up one hand. Victoria stops mid-sentence. "You terrorized my daughter for hours. You demeaned her. You destroyed her property. Then you committed assault, and you did it because she's black." "No, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I donate to the NAACP." Senator Johnson stands. "Every racist says that. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry she turned out to be important." She leans forward, voice quiet but deadly. "But you do this to people every day. People who aren't my daughter, people who don't have power. That's why this won't end with an apology." Gerald tries. "Senator, please. We'll donate to any cause, any amount. Name it." "My daughter said something in her statement. She said, 'I want to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. So here's what's going to happen.'" Senator Johnson's voice could cut steel. "You will face every legal consequence, criminal and civil. And I will use your case to change how we handle air travel discrimination nationwide. You're going to be an example." Worthington starts to speak. "Senator, if we could just... We're done here." Senator Johnson walks to the door. Amara follows. Victoria collapses in sobs. Gerald stares at the table. Worthington closes his briefcase. "Start liquidating assets. Legal fees alone will be $500,000. Civil settlement could be millions. And there's nothing I can do to stop it." Outside, Senator Johnson puts her arm around Amara. "How are you really?" "Tired, angry, but okay." "Good, because we're going to make sure she never does this to anyone else." "I know, Mom. Nobody spits on my daughter and walks away." For the first time in her privileged life, Victoria Whitmore couldn't buy her way out, couldn't call in favors, couldn't make it disappear. She was about to learn what justice actually looks like. 48 hours later, the story dominates every news cycle. CNN breaking news: Senator's daughter assaulted in racist first-class attack. MSNBC dedicates entire segments. Caught on camera. Hate at 35,000 feet. Fox News covers it. First-class fracas. Federal charges filed. The New York Times runs front-page analysis. A moment of hate. What the Whitmore case reveals about America. The video goes nuclear. 20 million views in 48 hours. Hashtags trend nationwide. Had justice. For Amara. Has first-class racism. Victoria Whitmore. TikTok explodes with reactions. Twitter becomes a public courtroom. Reddit launches mega-threads documenting everything. And the internet does what it does best. Digital archaeology. Within hours, Victoria's history surfaces. 2019. Called police on black family at community pool. Said they don't belong. They were members. 2020. Fired Latina housekeeper for alleged theft. Later proved false. No apology. 2021. Reported black landscaper for suspicious behavior. He was working his contracted job. 2022. Blocked black delivery driver from gated community. Made him wait in the rain. 2023. Demanded black server be replaced at restaurant. The server was employee of the month. Former country club worker gives an anonymous interview. Mrs. Whitmore complained every time a minority member brought guests. She made my life hell for 2 years. Institutions abandoned her immediately. Greenwich Country Club. Victoria Whitmore's membership terminated effective immediately. Hartford Children's Charity. Ms. Whitmore has resigned. We condemn racism in all forms. Connecticut Arts Council. Ms. Whitmore is no longer affiliated with our organization. Whitmore and Associates. Law firm. Gerald Whitmore has taken indefinite leave. Translation: forced out. His name was removed within a month. Former friends give careful interviews. We had no idea she felt this way. Lies. Everyone knew. They just never cared before. Victoria's Instagram was deleted after thousands of condemnatory comments. Gerald's LinkedIn is suspended. Their address leaks online. Protesters gather outside. Signs reading "Racist" and "Justice for Amara." For sale sign appears within a week. Meanwhile, Senator Johnson acts. Press conference on the Senate floor. Every major network is present. What happened to my daughter happens daily to countless others. The difference? She had cameras, witnesses, me. Most victims don't. That ends now. She holds up legislation. The Air Passenger Dignity Act. Mandatory bias training for airline personnel. 40 hours minimum. Zero tolerance for discrimination. The first incident means termination. Federal database tracking complaints across all carriers. Enhanced penalties for aircraft hate crimes. Victim protection protocols. Bipartisan support shocks everyone. The Senate passes it 78 to 22. House follows 287 to 148. The president signs it in the Rose Garden. Amara stands beside her mother as the pen moves. 3 months later, the trial. United States District Court, Northern District of California. The courtroom was packed. Media, activists, law students, Senator Johnson and Amara in the front row. Victoria enters, aged 10 years in 3 months. Gray hair, gaunt face, hollow eyes. Designer suits are gone. Simple dress. Simple. No jewelry except wedding ring. Gerald already filed for divorce. Charges read. Count 1. Assault on aircraft. Maximum 20 years. Count 2. Hate crime enhancement. Maximum 10 additional. Count 3. Interference with flight crew. Maximum 20 years. Count 4. Civil rights violations. U.S. Attorney Sarah Carter prosecutes. Korean American. Brilliant. Her opening is surgical. This case is simple. Victoria Whitmore committed assault because Amara Johnson is black. We have 3 videos. Audio of slurs, 10 witnesses. This is accountability. Defense attorney Davis Worthington tries. My client made a terrible mistake. She's flawed. She had a bad day. We ask for compassion. The jury looks skeptical. 5 days of trial. Day 1. Videos played. The jury was visibly shocked. 2 jurors cry. Day 2. Air Marshal Derek Thompson testifies. 15 years of service. Never witnessed such blatant, premeditated assault. David Carter. I've experienced subtle racism for decades. This wasn't subtle. This was hate. Maya Martinez, voice shaking. My children are mixed race. I saw what could happen to them. Day 3. Dorothy testifies. 73 years old. 40 years flying first class. Never seen anything so disgraceful. Day 4. Amara takes the stand. The courtroom goes silent. She's poised, professional, powerful. How did it make you feel? Sarah Carter asks. Violated, dehumanized. But I am angry knowing this happens daily to people without my privileges. People the system ignores. Defense cross-examines. Didn't your mother's position influence this prosecution? No. Video evidence influenced it. My mother's position meant I had resources for justice. Most don't. That's the real crime. Silence in the courtroom. Day 5. Victoria testifies. Sarah Carter destroys her. You claim you sneezed? Yes. Without covering your mouth? It happened fast. But you wiped your own mouth after, not hers. Silence. Video plays again. The deliberate lean, the spit, the smirk. Does that look like a sneeze? No answer. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. Verdict. 4-person, black woman, 50s, stands. Count 1, assault on aircraft. Guilty. Victoria crumbles. Count 2, hate crime, guilty. Count 3, interference with crew, guilty. Count 4, civil rights violations, guilty. Victoria collapses sobbing. Amara and Senator Johnson embrace. 2 weeks later, sentencing. Judge Patricia Martinez, Latina, 62, looks down. Mrs. Whitmore, rise. Victoria stands, shaking. 20 years on this bench. Many crimes, but yours represents something particularly insidious. You assaulted a young woman for her skin color, in confined space, while others watched. You heard every person of color made to feel they don't belong. The sentence: 24 months in federal prison, $75,000 fine, $250,000 civil restitution to Miss Johnson, 1,000 hours of community service at organizations serving communities of color, mandatory counseling and anti-bias training, 3 years supervised probation, permanent placement on federal no-fly list. Victoria gasps. Perhaps in prison, surrounded by people you've demeaned, you'll learn the humanity you failed to see in an 18-year-old girl. Gavel falls. Victoria was taken into custody immediately. Outside, Senator Johnson speaks. Justice was served, but this isn't about punishment. It's about the message. Hate has consequences. Privilege doesn't protect you from accountability. Gerald pleads guilty to lesser charges. 8 months house arrest. $25,000 fine. License suspended 2 years. Divorces Victoria while she's imprisoned. Via attorney. Never visits. Estate sells $3 million below value. Goes to legal fees and restitution. Victoria's family disowns her. The documentary crew begins filming. First class, the Amara Johnson story. Airlines implement sweeping changes. United mandates 40 hours of bias training. Delta, American, Southwest follow. Passenger Bill of Rights expanded. Discrimination incidents drop 34% in the first year. Cultural impact immediate. Amara's law becomes shorthand for accountability. Law schools add cases to the curriculum. Businesses use it in training. A reference point. A line in the sand. A moment the system worked. 1 year later, Howard University. Founders Library Auditorium. 2,000 people fill every seat. Students, activists, lawmakers, journalists, community leaders. The banner behind the stage reads, First Class Citizenship Annual Summit. Dignity for All. This is Amara's organization, built from nothing in 12 months. She walks onto the stage. 19 years old now. Sophomore. Pre-law. But already a force. Standing ovation before she speaks a word. She waits. Patient. Lets it wash over her. Finally raises a hand. Thank you. Please sit. The room settles. Silence. She begins. A year ago, I was spit on. The words land hard, direct. A woman looked at me, at my skin, and decided I was less than human. She tried to humiliate me, to break me, to make me feel like I didn't deserve to occupy space. Pause. She failed. Applause starts. She raises her hand again. What Victoria Whitmore didn't understand is that dignity isn't given. It can't be taken. It just is. Every human being has inherent worth. Period. Her voice strengthens. People ask me, aren't you lucky your mom is a senator? And yes, I'm privileged. I had resources most victims don't. But that's not luck. That's injustice. Justice shouldn't depend on who your parents are. Murmurs of agreement. For every camera that caught my story, there are thousands of incidents that happen in silence. In offices, schools, stores, homes. That's why one case isn't enough. We need systemic change. She details her year. Founded first-class citizenship. Operating in 40 states now. Testified before Congress 4 times. Lobbied for the Air Passenger Dignity Act. It passed. spoke at 50 universities, published memoir, The Spit That Changed Everything, New York Times bestseller, won awards for activism. But she doesn't brag, just states facts. People ask if I've forgiven Victoria Whitmore. The room goes quiet. Here's the truth. Forgiveness is personal. Justice is public. I can forgive her for my own peace while still demanding she face consequences. Those aren't contradictory. They're complementary. She grips the podium. Hate didn't win that day on the plane. Evidence won. Witnesses won. The law won. And I won. She updates them on everyone involved. Victoria Whitmore, 10 months into sentence. Working prison library. Reportedly changed. Amara is skeptical. Gerald Whitmore, completed house arrest. Doing community service. No longer practicing law. Remarried already. Air Marshal Derek Thompson, promoted. Trains marshals nationwide now. Flight attendant Jessica. Completed anti-bias training. Works for first-class citizenship now. Apologized personally to Amara. Senator Diane Johnson. Legislation passed. Considering presidential run 2028. The witnesses, David Carter donated $100,000 to the nonprofit. Maya Martinez wrote a book on bystander intervention. Amara's voice rises. One person's hatred tried to diminish me. But you know what? It amplified my voice. And I'm using that voice for every person who's been diminished, dismissed, degraded, dehumanized. Her final words ring out. That's how we win. Not by becoming what hurt us, but by transforming pain into purpose. The auditorium erupts. Standing ovation. 5 minutes straight. Senator Johnson in the front row. Tears streaming. Mouthing, I'm so proud of you. The applause finally fades. The narrator's voice returns. Calm, reflective, direct. Victoria Whitmore boarded that plane thinking she knew who mattered. She thought money meant power. She thought skin color determined worth. She thought an 18-year-old studying quietly was beneath her notice. Pause. She was wrong about everything. Quick cuts flash across the screen. Congressional hearings, airlines training staff, other victims coming forward, cultural conversations shifting. One act of hatred, caught on camera, changed an industry. But real change doesn't end with one case. It continues with each of us, in every interaction, every single day. The narrator's voice becomes direct, personal. So here's my question for you. Beat. Have you ever witnessed something like this and stayed silent? Have you made assumptions about someone based on appearance? Have you let prejudice go unchallenged because it was easier? Another beat. Be honest. Because the only way we prevent the next Victoria Whitmore is by examining the Victoria Whitmore in ourselves. The calls to action come clearly. If this story moved you, don't just hit like, share it. Someone needs to hear it. Comment below. What would you have done on that plane? Would you have recorded, spoken up, intervened? Subscribe for more stories where justice actually wins. Visit firstclasscitizenship.org. Donate if you can. Volunteer if you're able. Support the Air Passenger Dignity Act in your state. And next time you see someone being treated like Amara was treated, pause for emphasis. Don't just record, intervene. Be the person you'd want someone to be for you. The final line comes. Quiet, powerful, definitive. Remember, the cost of silence is always higher than the risk of speaking up. Always. One more beat. Justice was served, but the work continues, and it continues with you. The screen fades to resources. First-class citizenship. Org scrolls across. FAA complaint process information. Civil rights hotlines. Anti-racism education links. Updates appear. The Air Passenger Dignity Act has been adopted in 37 states. Airline discrimination incidents down 34% since implementation. Over 10,000 flight crew members trained under new protocols. Final text appears. Real change happens when everyday people refuse to be bystanders. And then the last question, the one that should haunt everyone watching. What will you do when you see injustice? The screen goes black, but the question remains, hanging in the air, demanding an answer. Not someday, today, right now.